Hello, it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling, and I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a mirror fold card with no cutting dice. If you like it, I really hope you'll feel inspired and craft along with me, because I'm going to explain how to create your own. I've got 6 by 15 inches white card, and if you don't have that big card, all you have to do is to measure it and divide it by 4. So here I'm going to score it at 3 3/4, 7.5 inches, then turn it over and score at 3 3/4. So all I have to do is to divide it by 4 and make sure I've got 4 equal parts. Now when this is ready, I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to measure 2 inches on the second score line from the very top. And on the third score line, I'm going to measure 2 inches from the bottom. And using my cutting mat and scoring tool, I'm going to create the fold lines up to the pencil mark. And this way, we're going to have those triangles that will give us more interest to the fold. So, it is super simple. If you've never ever tried mirror fold card, I do encourage you to give it a go. So as you can see, this is super simple. All you have to do is to go from the score line to the bottom, and here I created that triangle going to the second line. Now from the third line top, I'm going to match it with the pencil mark, and now going to the first scoring line at the very top. Super quick and simple. And now my very big trick for you is to actually fold and burnish those score lines both ways, because this is a fancy fold card. So if you do burnish all the sides from both ways, that will make it so much easier to open and play with the card. And this mirror card fold is actually very interesting because you can decorate it the way you want and which way you want, because it can open at 2 different ways. So as you can see, I'm trying to score all those fold lines, and it's actually very easy, especially if you have a scoring tool. But I do encourage you to burnish all those lines over and over again, because we want this card to open quickly and beautifully, so the recipient will have a little bit of surprise. And if you've never ever tried this technique, I do encourage you to do so. And when the card base is ready, all we have to do is to decide how do you want to embellish and decorate your card. And I think this is always the trickiest part. For my project, I decided to use one of the beautiful collections from Lexi Design called Forest Celebrations. I think the color palette is very beautiful, so that's why I decided to use that one here. And if you haven't seen my previous video using the same design paper, the link is at the top right corner, and also I'm going to leave it at the very end of this video. So as you can see, I do have some scraps left over from my previous project, and that is fine, because whenever you create any fancy fold cards, you actually have some pieces which you can use for smaller panels, and that's what I really like about fancy fold cards. Now I'm going to use my trimmer and actually create those panels. So I need something measuring 5 3/4 by 3.5. And these will be my panels, and from there you can actually cut those 2 inches off to create those triangles. And as you can see, that will match very beautifully on my card base. I think the trickiest part is always to choose the color combo, but here I decided to go with those soft pastel colors. I really like this collection, and if you're interested in anything I use in this video, I will leave the links in the description down below so you can check them out. And this one is actually a Polish brand. I really like it, and I think they've got very beautiful and unique products, especially with those scrapbooking papers and chipboards I'm going to show you later on. As you can see, you can use your trimmer or you can use a guillotine as well, and that will be absolutely fine. And if you don't have those tools, you can also use a ruler and a pencil to draw your lines and then use your scissors. Super quick and simple to create any fancy fold cards. As you know me, I absolutely love playing with fancy folds, so this card was, I always wanted to try a mirror fold card, and when I saw this 15 inches long card, I thought that would be the way to go, especially with this project. As you can see, I also have one more panel just in case I make a mistake. And if you want here, you can use your pencil and create a mark, so then you know exactly how to cut your triangles. And that's exactly what I did here. I also wanted to say a massive thank you, because over the weekend I got so many new subscribers on my channel, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you so much to everyone who's new to my channel, and I do hope you will find all my tutorials very inspiring. And if you create your own projects, I would absolutely love to see them. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you will really enjoy more videos on my channel. Now, when all those panels are ready, I thought I really like them. But is there a way I can make this card even more interesting? So as you can see, we also have to create those triangles, and I do have some leftovers. And actually, on the back, I really like the design paper. So I thought that would give my card even more interest. So I'm going to use my pencil just to create those marks, and using my guillotine, I'm going to cut it to the size I need. And when these are ready, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide ink in Kitsch Flamingo color, because I thought that will give my card more interest, and I think it will make it more beautiful. And actually, it will match with all those design papers. As you can see, if you have any pencil marks, that is the time to get rid of them. If you want, you can also distress all the panels using the blade of your scissors, and that will be very cool as well. So using my ink blending tool, I just apply the color on all the edges. And I really like this technique. I think it makes the cards even more special. Do you do the same, or do you distress the edges with a blade of your scissors? Please let me know in the comments down below. So, I wonder, have you ever created a mirror fold card? If you haven't, I do encourage you to do so. And if you don't have 15 inches card, you can also create it with 12 inches and then add another panel. Just make sure you've got enough space to create a flap, and that will be absolutely fine. So, as you can see, when all those panels will be ready, I'm going to adhere them using my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, because I do have time to maneuver the elements. And I do encourage you to actually use any liquid glue you have, because they usually dry clear and no one will ever see if you made a mistake. So now it is time to assemble all those elements, and I was very happy with how this card turned out. But then I thought all those design papers are so beautiful. But actually, in the collection, there are 2 design papers with lots of elements to fussy cut. And if you haven't seen my previous video with that collection, I will also leave it at the end so you can check it out. The elements are absolutely stunning. And with this collection, you also get some chipboards, which I'm going to show you later on, and some strips with more elements to fussy cut. And when I saw them, I thought, yes, that will be the way to go with this project. So my card base is ready, and it's decorated beautifully. As you can see, it folds very interesting, right? And I really like it. And on the back, there is lots of space to write your message. So here's the first chipboard I'm going to use, and I'll leave all the names and links to those in the description down below. I'm also going to use some elements like the bunting and the birthday cake as well. I think they're just so cool. I really like them. And if you've never ever used chipboards, actually Laser Lover, which are these chipboards from, are amazing. They've got so many of them on the website for different occasions, so you can check those out as well. So when these are ready, I'm also going to fussy cut some elements. But first, I'm going to use my Posca pen to color in all those elements. And as you can see, those chipboards have very light color, and that makes them very easy to apply any medium you want. So I'm pretty sure you can use some watercolors, zig markers, pencils. The choice is absolutely amazing because you can use whatever you want. As you can see with that hedgehog, I decided to use that pale orange and some yellow. I thought that would give me enough contrast, especially with that grey, pink and light brown. So what do you think about this color combo for this card? Do you like it? Or would you change it? And I also wonder, have you ever heard about Lexi Design and Laser Lover? If you have, please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't, you can check the links in the description down below. As you can see, that card comes together very quickly, but you always have to decide how you want to decorate it. And I think it will be special for so many different occasions. And if you haven't seen my other videos with fancy fold cards, one of them is at the top right corner. Recently, I've been very obsessed with them. Literally, I just cannot stop working with fancy folds. I really like them, and that gives me so much joy. So if you've never ever tried fancy folds with no cutting dice, give it a go. You will be surprised how easy they are to create. Here I colored in the bunting, and actually I did it off camera because you know how to do it. So here is just my first layer, but later on I also added some white dots just to make this design even more special. And I also colored in the cake off camera. So you will see those elements finish in a couple of seconds. And as I told you, these elements are just so easy to color. All you have to do is to use your liquid glue to apply them to any project you want. So now it is time to decorate the inside of the card. And as I told you, the whole collection comes with those strips and I really like them. So I fussy cut all those creatures. It was so much fun. And here is another design paper with all the elements to fussy cut. And I couldn't resist. I had to add the balloons with all those creatures because in the end it is a birthday card. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a go, right? So, as you can see, I've got my balloons ready and I put some double-sided tape on the back and I'm going to use embroidery floss to put the string here, which is super quick and simple. All you have to do is to cut it to the length you need. And if you make it too long, that is not a problem. All you have to do is to attach it to the balloon first and then using your liquid glue. Yes, I do encourage you liquid glue. Then you will have enough to put it where you want and then you can add your characters. I think that is the way to go, especially with those elements. And if you struggle with double-sided tape, I do encourage you to use your pokey tool. That will make your job so much easier. So, as you can see, now I'm going to use my liquid glue. And this card, as I told you, it is super simple to create. So if you've never ever created a mirror fold card, I really hope you'll give it a go. Also wonder, have you seen my video from yesterday where I created a shadow box for a baby girl with beautiful foam flowers? If you haven't, check the link at the top right corner. Also, on a Thursday, I'm going to have a Mother's Day card, so stay tuned for that. And if you're new to my channel, I do encourage you to subscribe, because every week I do have at least 2 videos on my channel. Mondays are always dedicated to personalized cards, and Thursdays, just any project. And actually, this Saturday, I'm going to have First Communion invitations as well. So stay tuned for all those inspiration coming your way. When all the balloons and creatures are ready, there is still something missing on my card. Do you know what it is? Yes, it is a sentiment, because every single card needs one, right? And as I told you, this card is for a birthday. So from the whole collection, you also have some strips with sentiments. And there is one design paper where you also have some sentiments, so you can use whatever you want. So here is the time, and you can see the beautiful strip. As you can see, the color palette matches all the design papers. So for this one, I chose Happy Birthday. And just to make sure it actually matches the whole card, I'm going to use the same Distress Oxide ink in Kitsch Flamingo. But first, we have to make sure it is cut to the side and it fits where we want. You can also use a trimmer if you want, but sometimes with the sentiments, I get a little bit lazy. And if you want, you can also use some double-sided foam adhesive, and that will be absolutely fine. it is time to use ink blending tool, apply the color on all the edges, and this way all the elements will match. So what do you think about this card? Do you like it? And what do you think about this color palette? For me, it is very unusual because I really like bold colors. I decided to add some white elements on the eyes of the hedgehog and the cut is complete. As you can see, it does stand on a flat surface and it folds really cool. But you can open it the way you want. This is the first way you can do it, or you can literally turn it over and have the grey at the front. So the choice is yours, and there is plenty of space to write your message on the back. Thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And again, thank you so much for every single new subscriber on my channel. I do appreciate your support. Have a wonderful day and stay tuned for more videos on my channel. Happy crafting!